2021. This is a show in English. I told you yesterday I was on this channel. I said my next guest will be Mr. George Ngoma from Canada. He's a teacher. He's been in California. Now he's teaching in Canada, in Quebec, I think. How are you doing, Mr. George Ngoma?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your show. How are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you for being my guest today. Today the show will be in English now. This is a new channel, so
Yes.
probably you should be the first guest, and I'm so happy to have you as a first guest here. How do you see?
I'm grateful. I'm grateful myself.
Okay, the
I'm
idea.
really grateful.
Okay, good. The idea came from people who are listening some videos in French. They said they need a program in English so they can be listening, but so they can learn from us what is happening in the Congo. And if I call you here today is to see some news regarding the political situation in the Congo Brazzaville. I know you went to the TV, no, to the radio last week on Voice of America. I heard you talking about the situation. Let us talk now, Mr. Ngoma. Time is 12:01 p.m. in Chicago, and I think 1 p.m. in Toronto, right? In
In
Quebec.
Quebec.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Again, my
Thank
name
you,
is.
sir.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
Okay, let's go with the first question regarding the death of Mr. Paco Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas. Tell people who are listening to this station who was Mr. Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas who died last week.
Okay, thank you so very much. So before to say something about Mr. Kolelas, I want to say this. This program is welcome because, we are living in North America and we need to talk to people living in this country, in Canada, in the United States, and everywhere else about what is going on in Brazzaville. I can't see you, Jean Lewis. Can you hear me?
Of course, I can hear you well. Just go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. Because you disappeared, sir. You disappeared. Okay. So yeah, I've been telling that it's good to talk about the Congo Brazzaville abroad. We are living in the United States. We are living in Canada, where people speaking English, they need to know about what is going on in our country. So, about your first question, I want to say this. Since a very few days, Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas has become a great figure in the political arena in the Congo Brazzaville. Just about what's happened lately. One who is dying and who is speaking to the people of the Congo. This is something untold. This is something untold. For the people to know who's Brice Parfait Kolelas is the son of Bernard Kolelas. Bernard Kolelas is known as a great figure in the political history of our country. Everyone knows that. At the passing away of Bernard Kolelas, his son, Parfait Kolelas, entered politics. All the Congolese people know what's happened when Bernard Kolelas died. Since then, Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas entered the government of Denis Sassou Nguesso because at the passing away of Bernard Kolelas, Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas has been presented to Denis Sassou Nguesso, who promised to take care of him. And everyone in the Congo know that he has been minister in the Sassou Nguesso government as Minister of Commerce first and Minister of Public Administration. There is a question. How to explain that in 2015, Gibris Parfait Kolelas rejoined the opposition in our country. It was about because Denis Sassou Nguesso just changed the constitution of the country. That constitution, he tailored himself in 2002, the constitution that gives him only 2 terms of 7 years, 2 times. 2002, he should have only 2 terms of 7 years. So where it's come to change that constitution in 2010. That's the reason why Parfait Kolelas just left the government to go to the opposition.
Right.
This is very important to know, to understand who's Parfait Kolelas.
Right. This gonna help, George. This will help us to understand that he wasn't playing a game because he left the government. He left all advantages from the government to go to the opposition against the regime. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's very important for people to know exactly. Even me, I did criticize Parfait Kolelas, but now I'm understanding a lot of things in the process, the political process of Guy Parfait Kolelas. You know? And what is more important is the fact that act is passing away something that has become very important to every Congolese people is that legacy. Is that legacy, everyone know about that legacy, is to stand up and to stop with this regime, putting in jeopardy not only ourselves, but the generation to come. This is very important. So talking about the death of Guy Brice Parfait Kolelas, there is 4 things I wanted to say here. The first thing is an untold situation in our country to see a person dying during the electoral vote. The second thing is the reason why Guy Parfait Kolelas just died. The third thing is the attitude of the ruling regime with regard to the death of Parfait Kolelas. The fourth thing is about how to comply the law with respect to the Article 70 of the Constitution. The first point, an untold situation. We know that in our country we have a very hard history of political violence. A lot of major political figures have been killed in our country. I don't want to go in detail about that. All the Congolese people know how many politicians have been killed because of political engagement. So, the second point is about the reason. Killed The official reason is about the COVID-19. I am skeptical about that reason. That's what I say to the Voice of America. I am skeptical of the reason, as everyone knows that the system is marked by a great opacity of its practices. The practices of this regime is opaque, very opaque. So they hiding everything about the other political game in the Congo Brazzaville. The given reason of COVID-19 is not the evident bad reason. We all know how people treat people suffering from COVID-19. The question for the Congolese people is to ask how Mr. Kolelas, suffering from COVID, has been treated. That took Mr. Kolelas from Brazzaville to Paris. They can demonstrate how this aircraft have been equipped.
Yeah,
because we see here in...
Mr. George,
Yes, you have a question there?
yeah, we'll know that part later, but let's talk first about what happened in the Congo, because people saying that he got COVID-19, which we don't know if when they left the Congo, the pilot was given papers as a proof that Mr. Kolelas got COVID-19 when he left. Also,
Yeah.
some people are saying that Mr. Gibris Parfait Kolelas died in the Congo, which is connected to what you said regarding the election, because he died probably before the first term of vote, before people went to the vote on the 21st. Here you see this is what is happening. Some people said he died on the 19th or the 20th, which was before the vote. If he died before that vote, then we can say that according to the article you said, the 70, the vote should be recounted,
Postponed.
postponed or cancelled.
Yes.
Okay, what can you explain to the people who are listening regarding that article 70?
That the issue. That's why I told about the opacity in the government. We don't know. We can't say everything, but there is a lot of indicator that show that the official reason is not the right one. Everything we say. But if Parfait Kolelas died before the election, this election need to be completely cancelled. Absolutely.
Okay.
The article is clear. The 70 article of the Constitution is clear on that issue. But I'm not sure, because I know what this government is. The overall electoral process is already based in the wrong. Everything's wrong about this election. That's the first thing people should know. This election is a rigged election. So everything is being done behind this process of election. Is everything is
now, can you tell people what just happened? I have some trouble with the line. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Can you tell people who are
Ask
listening?
again your question, please.
Okay. Can you tell? First of all, let me show people the picture of Mr. Gibris Parfait Kolelas. Okay, this is Gibris Parfait Kolelas. He's the son of the late Bakana Kolelas, who was himself a big leader in the Congo, the chief leader who died years ago. George told you at the beginning of this show. Okay. Can you tell people who are listening what will happen now? How do we know that Brice Parfait Kolelas died before or after? Because the man, has Denis Sassou Nguesso. He went faster than us or than people. He is now the winner of the elections. Can you tell people what numbers he just got? He said 88 or 98, and how he get those numbers.
So that the issue in the Congolese, how can I say, political circumstances. This election, serious people should know this. Denis Sassou Nguesso want to stay in power eternally. That is clear. So the election that has been organized for Denis Sassou Nguesso is for to win that election in spite of everything. So we saw Parfait Kolelas went campaigning all around the country, and we saw that sign. He was sick. That's real, because he went to CBT, he went to Owando, he went to Braille every time. We saw someone who has been suffering from something. But the problem is not to say that. The problem is to know from what Parfait Kolelas was suffering. Once again, I am skeptical. I'm not sure that he was suffering from COVID-19, because around him there was a lot of people working with him. So we need to know what's going to happen to Mrs. Kolelas, for example.
Yeah, because we know,
we want to know, yes.
Regarding the COVID-19, people know that all the people who worked with him in the campaign are okay. No one is sick. That's the reason to say that if it was a COVID-19, all the people around should be in hospital now. But what we see that everything is okay. Now they saying that he got COVID-19. But you can you tell people regarding the airplane that took him from Brazzaville, because they said that airplane did like 3 stops before to get in Paris. I don't know. Some people are saying that they took him already dead. Can you just explain to people who are listening, who are not Congolese people, so they will understand what just happened?
So about the aircraft, we all are asking about the stream of that airplane. We have been told that from Brazzaville, the airplane went to Olombo. After going to Olombo, the airplane went to Chad in N'Djamena. From N'Djamena to another country, maybe in Ivory Coast, I do not remember, before to go to France. It's impossible. I think that regarding the recommendation in this kind of situation around COVID-19, the aircraft should be equipped with everything to prevent all the crew from the COVID. For example, we have been told that Mrs. Kolelas took place in that airplane. It's impossible to take a family member in an airplane, an aircraft, transporting a patient with COVID-19, because there is a lot of precaution to take about patient being transported by aircraft. I am not sure that all these are being taken into account in that airplane. How to explain that in the stream of the aircraft, why to stop in all this country before to reach France? So there is a lot of questions to ask about that.
And they said that plane was too small to be a plane to use for the person
The long
who must be
range, the
right.
long range of
It's 3 hours. They said
so
he can run for 3 hours and then stop and refuel.
that,
This is
that,
what we heard. And another issue is the plane wasn't equipped with a medical
yeah.
team. Yeah, I heard that people who took him came from the Congo to France. Go ahead now.
Do you know? All these are completely wrong because in the case of COVID-19, all the caution should be taken before everything. That is why all the Congolese people are skeptical about that. I want you to stop with this issue because the reason why Kolelas just died is somewhere else. People are talking about poison. It's possible because we know that in the history of our country, a lot of people have been imprisoned in our country.
Like what? Can you give some example for people who just join us and they don't know what is happening in your
Oh, do
country?
you know about the poison? The poison, I just remember people like Oxens Ikonga. All the people know that the CEO of Air Afrique at that time, I was still in the Congo at that time, Oxens Ikonga just dies, and a lot of people saying that it was poison. We know also about Xavier Catali in our country.
Okay.
A lot of people say that. We know also about political opponent Mungunga Ngilankombo, who died in France. I'm not the one to say it was poison, but every people saying that it was poison.
Okay.
So in the Congo Brazzaville, we need to know better the overall political system under Denis Sassou Nguesso. Denis Sassou Nguesso doesn't need the major opponent in the system. Once you are a major opponent in the system, he's going to just eliminate you. You know about that.
Okay.
So, regarding Parfait Kolelas, look what is going on around the autopsy.
Yeah, let's talk about autopsy now. There are
Yes.
two positions. Or this is one. They said it's COVID-19, and the second people said is not COVID-19, it's poison. So now what will happen? Tell us, because we got the
Yes.
paper on the net. They said the judge has ruled something like it was COVID. What can you tell people who are listening now?
Yeah, Genevieve, do you know this is a serious issue regarding the health of someone? In serious issue, there are proceedings about everything. If someone dies from COVID, we need to ask this question. Is the autopsy possible to be done on someone who dies from COVID, who died from COVID? That's the first question. I am not sure. I'm living here in Canada. We saw all this proceeding around people dying from COVID. They are just taken to be buried, not to send to the hospital for the autopsy. Regarding Parfait Kolelas, he went to the Institut Médico-Légal of Paris to be experienced with that autopsy. The other thing is We are seeing a lot of stuff on social media with material in the social media. I saw even a paper with a cell phone number. I think that everyone saw that paper going viral on internet.
Right.
With the cell phone number. Are you sure that a serious administration in France is going to put just a cell phone number? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So we know also that the capacity of the Congolese dictatorial regime in manipulating everything, in instrumentalizing everything. They are afraid of the reaction of the people in the Congo Brazzaville with respect of the death of Parfait Kolelas. So they want to just to stuck on the COVID-19 reason that is not the right reason. The other thing to say here.
Now, do you know who will win this fight? Between
say again?
Who can win this fight? Because one side is saying that it's COVID, the other side is not. How this will end?
Yes, that's a very good question. The only one to say the truth is the French administration. I am what to say. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that the Parfait Kolelas death is going to be a big geopolitical or geostrategic issue. Can you understand what I say?
Right.
I'm afraid, I'm saying this, I am afraid the Parfait Kolelas death is going to be a big geopolitical and geostrategic issue between Congo Brazzaville and France. We need the French administration to tell us the truth.
Right, to involve
about that.
Right.
Yeah, to tell the truth.
Do you think,
why?
George? Do you think French administration,
yes,
French is behind that thing, or?
Yes, I have that assumption. I'm telling about the assumption. The assumption, okay. I'm not telling that it's the truth. It's like that.
I understand.
It's an assumption. Yes, it's an assumption. So, France need just to be clear about that. Why I'm telling about the geopolitical issue on that? France don't need instability in our country. France is exporting oil in our country. France has been backing Denis Sassou Nguesso all along since 1977, the date we got a civil war in the Congo Brazzaville. It's crystal clear that France is in a keen relationship with Denis Sassou Nguesso. We all are seeing how the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Le Drian, is managing everything with the Congo Brazzaville. Even though the last president, François Hollande, even Macron, never take the decision to go to see Denis Sassou Nguesso in the Congo Brazzaville. But Le Drian is working. Le Drian is working in everything.
Did you hear?
So I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of France to take position for Denis Sassou Nguesso in order to avoid, to prevent a very uprising in the Congo Brazzaville. Because the very thing in this case is to avoid the popular uprising in our country.
George?
Yes?
We heard that the reason Parfait Kolelas was killed is because in his election plan, he was planning to give more power to people, like building in some small state which will decide on local resources, which wasn't good for wouldn't be good for French people. So did you hear about that explanation?
Do you know that is Parfait Kolelas political program? It's normal for Parfait Kolelas to propose that division in our country. I'll just explain to the people clearly. I'm not sure that because he proposed that division of our country is the reason why some think to kill him. I'm not sure of that. So, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you else about that. I just know that it's normal for Parfait Kolelas to propose everything. You saw his campaign. He has been explaining a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's a big a big part of his program. If the Congolese people just say yes, okay, what you're proposing, it's a kind of federalism. He has been talking about some federalism, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's federalism. It's
to give a lot of people who own some resources like oil, oil in the Congo, or iron, or any resources you got in your area. So
your land,
your land, right? People who are producing can get more than some of like Lasanga would get more money from coffee, or I don't know what we got there, or
yes,
right.
Cote Noire, for example, more money from
oil, right? So
Region de l'Edekou, where I'm coming from, more money from
right.
timber.
So this is what we said. This is what we said would hurt French people who are taking more profit on oil.
So why not? What the problem? It's not the French problem. It's a Congolese problem. I think that we are going to stop with everything in the Congo by trying to talk between us in the Congo Brazzaville. I know that strategically, France is important, but we need to learn once how to talk about the Congolese interest rather than talking just about the French interest. Talking about the Congolese interest is not to get rid of the French interest. I think that France should understand that. Let the Congolese people to organize themselves, and you will continue to exploit oil in our country.
Okay, let's this interview is ending soon. George, let's talk about the family. We know that Kolelas' family was divided since the death of late Kolela Bakana Bernard. Now the thing is, there is one side is linked to Denis Sassou Nguesso, people like I don't know, I forgot the name, and Landry and his sister, and then the other side it's the Kolela who just died, Brice Parfait. Do you know how and the wife and the kids side? So do we know how this will end?
I don't know. I don't know.
This battle, yeah.
I don't know. It's very sad first. The observation is sadness. It's sadness to see how the family is going to be destroyed because of political issues like that. All the Kolelas' son should be standing up as one. But I don't know, Jean Louis, what I can tell you about that issue. They are so strongly divided. over the issue. I saw a lot of Kolelas kids ruling, supporting Denis Sassou Nguesso. They are strongly embedded in the Sassou Nguesso political organization. We can say also that, yes, Prince Parfait Kolelas also was in the same system. So I'm really, I don't know. I don't know how to tell about that. I don't know how it's going to end up.
Okay. Thank you for.
So, Genevieve,
Go ahead now. Yes.
there is something very important. There is something very important to tell here. It's the future of our country. Once we take into account how the Congolese political situation is complex, very complex, how to think of the future of our country. Nothing is working now. We know all that nothing is working now.
Okay.
And this mandate for Denis Sassou Nguesso, it's for nothing. It's for nothing. Can we, as Congolese people, think how to rebuild our nation? I know that it's going to be very hard. I know that it's going to be hard, very hard, because people in power are not going to try to speak with others in the best condition. They have done so very wrong thing in the country. That is why they are fearing everything. They are fearing everything. So what is the good solution? What the good solution is to continue with tyranny, it's to continue with dictatorship. Is that way that is good to resolve all the problems we are enduring in our country? I am not sure. I am not sure. The best way to think of the generation to come, the best way to try to solve all this problem we have in our country is to have the courage to go forward with the building of the real nation. If people in power don't want to understand that, I am afraid, Jean Lewis, I am afraid this country is going to explode. If this country just explodes itself,
so do you think
I'm afraid. I'm really afraid. Because yes, go ahead.
You think it will be easy for them to leave the power because they're sticking for some reasons. The reasons people are saying that they got money, some they stole money, some they killed people, and then they asking themselves where to go if we leave. So we'll go to jail. So that's why all the means you see around is just to build some stuff to stick on the power, so they don't leave. So do you think like other people saying that to out the regime they need to just use some like violence or military coup to kick Mr. Denis Sassou Nguesso away or out of the power?
I think that the only way, I'm not the one who's going to say that we have to look for, I don't know, weapons around and to come and to make a coup d'etat, like Sassou Nguesso used to do the coup d'etat. I think that the best way to get rid of this dictatorship, this fierce dictatorship, this tyranny, is the popular uprising. That is the best way for all the people all around the country to stand up, like Parfait Kolelas said before to die. Think of the generation to come. Fight for yourself. Fight for the change. I think that everything is that legacy. So people need to be courageous in our country, everywhere, everywhere. Even people in the power, in the regime of Denis Sassou Nguesso, because it's going to be very hard if one day the people just uprise. And I want to say this, John Lewis, the uprising of the people suffering from oppression is the right. That right is recognized by charities at the international level. You know the chart of African Union. They say that the people who are oppressed have the right to uprise.
Okay, okay.
There is another chart signed in Alger in 1976 also, an international chart recognizing the right of the people to uprise. And I want to say this also. You are living in the United States, Jim Lewis. You know that the history of the United States also is based on something everyone knows about the proclamation of the independence in the United States. Thomas Jefferson was based on that right of the people to uprise. And when we see all around the world, we see a lot of situations where the dictators, the tyrants, have been kicked out of the power because the people just stand up and to say everything must stop now.
Okay.
So if the Congolese don't stand up to do that,
they should understand.
I'm afraid that we are going to hard time again.
Yeah, they should understand that even people are saying that French must involve and push the Sassou Nguesso to change his behavior. But people
Yeah.
in France, they said also that you are the one who gonna start. Then Congolese must go out to show their freedom. It will not come from French people teaching them how to become free from dictatorship. Okay. Before you go, George Goma, time is 12:42 in Chicago. Can you tell us about your North American platform? You've been up for years now. I don't know exactly. People who are listening,
Yes.
do they know who you are? A North American platform. Tell us.
Yes, that is North American platform against the dictatorship of Denis Sassou Nguesso. We have done a lot of work in North America. People should know that North America is different of Europe. There is people in Europe. Europe has been, how to say, Europe have the historical relationship to Africa. And we know how France has been ruling all the former French colony until today. That is a vision. That vision, every people can understand that the relationship to France is a corrupt relationship in the country formerly colonized by England. It's completely different. This is a long time we have been talking to change that relationship to France, or France to change its relationship to Africa. Everyone knows about France Afrique. Even French people, French writers are writing drastically about France Afrique. But here in the United States, here in Canada, there is an other approach of everything. That is why we say that we need to work this North American ground to see how to work with Africa, how to talk with Europeans about Africa too. So we have done, so far, we have done a great job working. Unfortunately, since a year, we have been coping with COVID-19. So we can't go to the United States, we can go to Canada to see political figure for them to be aware of what's going on in Congo. Everyone knows that when President Donald Trump came in power, Denis Sassou Nguesso wanted to meet him, the very first president to meet Donald Trump. Who prevented that occurrence to be done? It's because we have done a lot of work to show to Donald Trump that is not a good relationship. Why? Because Denis Sassou Nguesso is keeping killing his own people. I'm not the one who said that, but all the career of Denis Sassou Nguesso is based on that. We saw the war in the Pool region. We saw everything. We saw about the 253 disappeared off the beach. Young people coming from Kinshasa who has been killed by the regime that recognized that they killed the young people. We have a lot of young people murdered in the police offices in the Congo Brazzaville. There is a lot of stuff like that. So the platform, the North American platform against the dictatorship, is working hard on this issue in order to get rid of the dictatorial regime in Congo Brazzaville, for the Congo Brazzaville to reborn, to have new prospect on the future. People know also that the Congo Brazzaville is a very rich country, because there is a lot of raw materials. There is the third oil producer in sub-Saharan Africa. And the Congolese people, we are just 4 or 5 million of people. Half the population of New York, half the population of all the Quebec. So we are not too much in the Congo Brazzaville. So how it is that the Congolese people are the poorest in the world? That contradiction, that paradox is unbelievable, unbearable. We can bear that paradox.
Can you tell me now, George?
Yes.
George, just a few minutes left and you'll go. Can you tell me how you in Canada, you working to get along? Because we heard that you got some trouble there. You each of you are taking his own path, and so how are you working for the Canada community diaspora to be as a team, to work as a team? What you just said here, people in Congo, they want their voice to be heard in the Canada. How are you gonna make it so as a team you can work together to do that?
We are working together with people who want to work together, who know how to behave with others. We can't work with some people lying on others' people. It's impossible. It's even dangerous. How can you understand, John Lewis, that I say that, okay, John Lewis, I saw you with the devil. And you say that I never been with the devil. But he keep telling that, yes, I saw you with the devil. You can't do anything with people like that. So we are working, for a people, for a person to know that is really a good person. You see people working with you around. If you're working alone, you are a bad person because you keep telling what is wrong on other people. Can you understand that? So in North America, in our platform, we are working with the major Congolese opponent living in North America without any problem. It's better even to be alone rather than being badly accompanied. That is what is going on here. So we are working hard. We are doing such a good job with people who know that what we have to do is more important than people that are, I don't have to say, people who are, they are the most important all around. So we are working the platform, North American platform against the dictatorship of Denis Sassou Nguesso is working. We are reaching results. We are working with others in France. I think that, as you heard about CRC, have you heard about CRC?
What is that? The CRC in France, CRC, right?
Yes, it not only in France. CRC, it's the Congress for the Renaissance of Congo-Brazzaville. We are working with the CRC. CRC is not only in France, it's all around, all around. There is people in Congo-Brazzaville. There is people in Africa, people in Europe, people in America, everywhere, working in the CRC. The perspective of the CRC is to get rid of the Sassou Nguesso regime. Clear. Around the popular uprising. That is clear. In our mind. The only way to get rid of this regime is the popular uprising. If there is no popular uprising, then Sassou Nguesso will continue to hijack power in the Congo-Brazzaville. So, to stop with that question, please don't ask me this kind of question anymore. The platform, our platform is working. And we don't care. We don't care about people all along telling what is not
actually,
the truth.
George, you shouldn't fear question. You need to answer question as you can. Okay. Thank you, George. Okay, the picture you saw, you guys, for people who are joining this program, this is Jean Louis Talk Show. Now we're gonna be George Ngoma. He's one of our team in the radio for a while now. You know him. He comes. His team of Les Amis de la Rédaction. He's my friend, and he's also a teacher. He's sociology. He has a PhD. He's been in California, so he knows what he's talking about.
Yes.
Okay, he has a lot of experience in politics. He's been in France as well. Okay, he was my guest today, George. Do you have something to say before we leave? Huh?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm grateful once again for you to have me on your TV show. I'm grateful, and I hope we will continue this discussion another day. And I want to say just this to the Congolese people, to be aware of what is going on in our country, to be aware of the future of the generation to come. Denis Sassou Nguesso is destroying the country. This is very important. Denis Sassou Nguesso is destroying the country. Denis Sassou Nguesso is destroying the youth. Denis Sassou Nguesso is destroying everything. So this is the time for all the countries to be aware of that. 5 more years is not going to change the country, because the country is indebted. There is a lot of debt, interior debt, exterior debt. So Sassou Nguesso is not going to have any money to develop this country. It is a waste of time. We are going to waste again 5 years coming. That is what I wanted to say, for the people to be aware of what is at stake in the Congo Brazzaville.
Okay, thank you, George Goma from Canada. Okay, this is the beginning of Jean Louis talk show. You know, we have already a YouTube channel, but that channel was flagged. I just find out the reason. I've been trying and using the jingle from the first channel, La Radio de la Communauté, and I was flagged for a week. We cannot post to that new YouTube channel now. So by next week, you're gonna be watching from another channel, Jean Louis Talk Show, on YouTube. Also, for people who are listening, there was a big meeting, a big march in Paris. We don't have a picture now, but I did a broadcast on the French channel, so we'll have those pictures probably tomorrow. If George is available, he can just come back so we can talk about what just happened in France. The march held by Pastor Numazalai, who is a pastor, the Congolese pastor, who is fighting a lot to ask people to make our voice heard in France. George Goma just explained to you that everything we see in the Congo is happening from France. Those are advisors, those are people, those are masters, people who are telling him to do what he's doing. I think I'm not wrong if I say that, George.
You are not wrong.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. The time is 12:56 in Chicago, probably 1:56 in Quebec, in Canada. And,
in Quebec, yes.
Okay, I will be back on this show tomorrow. Probably we'll have another guest. I will see. This is just the beginning. George was a kind of a test with the show, and he's gonna be coming probably every week or every 2 weeks to give you some news. We have people who want to know about our country, but they need also people who know the situation. That is why we need people who can speak in English. Even your English is bad, just come to the show, tell us what you know about the Congo, what you are suggesting. Thank you for listening, and I will be back probably tomorrow at the